With apologies to Dick Van Patten, the New York Liberty definitely hope that 8 is not enough. But 8 is the number of wins the Liberty have on the spin. That after their 92-62 demolition of the Chicago Sky here at Madison Square Garden in New York City. It was a game that both teams had a lot riding on. The Liberty came into this game looking to clinch a top 4 seed in the WNBA Playoffs and a first round bye that comes with that. The Chicago Sky were looking to just stay in playoff contention, and the Liberty left nothing to chance in this basketball game. Tina Charles, their star player, had 22 points in the ball game, 10 of those points coming in the first quarter. She hit both of her 3-point attempts as the Liberty had an 8-point lead at the end of the first quarter, and that lead just continued to grow from there. The backcourt of Bria Hartley and Epiphany Prince each scored 11 points in the basketball game, as with the win here today, along with the Washington Mystics' loss last night at home against the Dallas Wings, the New York Liberty have clinched at least a number 4 seed in the WNBA playoffs. They have a chance to be the number 3 seed and pass the Connecticut Sun. They are behind the Sun by 1 game in the standings with 2 games left. And after the game, our Gabriel Lorenzo spoke with one of the members of the New York Liberty bench, Sugar Rodgers, who almost had a triple-double coming off the bench. 7 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in 25 minutes off the bench.
Sugar, congratulations. Your team clinched a top 4 seed in the WNBA playoffs. How does it feel to get this seeding now towards the end of the season and go into playoffs?
It feels good, but we've been in this position maybe 2 years in a row. We know how important it is, just to go out there and play, but just taking one game at a time. Yeah,
and your team also 8 victories in a row. How important is it for you guys to catch fire at this right time right now?
We call it a little fire, but this ain't the, peak. We just turning the corner right now.
And also for your team, the defense has been great in turning it up. 30-point victory today. Has that been the difference in the late stretch that your team had?
Our defensive effort, just because we have so many defensive schemes, rebounding, sharing the ball, and just having fun.
Also for your team, the way you've been able to spread the floor tonight against the Chicago Sky has been a very big difference. But for you being a 3-point shooter, how does that help your game, as well as Tina Charles, who's down low getting fed in the post?
We go inside out. So if we can get into Tina, we know we coming out for a 3-ball.
Now the playoffs are starting off one day before September 11th. I know that's a very important game, but how do you get ready knowing that there's still 2 more games left in the season?
We take care of those 2 games first, and then we talk about the playoffs.
Thanks a lot, Sugar. Good luck the rest of the week.
No problem.
As for the Chicago Sky, they were hit with an avalanche in the first half, and they never really recovered in this ball game. The Sky were led by their center, Stephanie Dolson, the New York native. She had 22 points in this basketball game. But the story for the Chicago Sky was another 2017 WNBA All-Star. Allie Quigley was held without a field goal in this basketball game, and only 2 points for Allie Quigley, as the stifling defense of the New York Liberty really held Quigley in check. Missed all of her 7 shots from the field. So the Chicago Sky dropped to 12-19 on the season. They are 2 games back of the 8th and final playoff spot, and they only have 3 games remaining. So for all intents and purposes, the Sky have to win out in their final 3 games and get some help if they want to play in the postseason in 2017. So stay tuned to A Lot of Sports Talk and ALotofSportsTalk.com. The written recap of this basketball game, written by Gabe Lorenzo, is below this video if you're reading it on A Lot of Sports Talk. If you're watching this video on A Lot of Sports Talk, and our silly season begins tomorrow. Tomorrow, the beginning of the 2017 U.S. Open. We will be at Flushing Meadows in Queens for at least 12 of the 14 days of the last Grand Slam of the year in tennis. For a couple of days, we will be on the road covering college football and a huge soccer international World Cup qualifying game. That soccer game next Friday. It's the United States and Costa Rica from Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey. And we'll also have coverage on that day, on Friday, of the University of Washington, a top 10 team in college football, going on the road to take on Rutgers. And then next week, next Sunday, we will be in Landover, Maryland, in the shadow of our nation's capital for a top 25 college football matchup between Virginia Tech and West Virginia. So stay tuned for a whole lot of sports on A Lot of Sports Talk. So once again, our final score here, the New York Liberty 92, the Chicago Sky 62. The Liberty will be a top 4 seed in the WNBA playoffs in 2017. From Madison Square Garden in New York City, my name is Adeshina Koike for ALotofSportsTalk.com.